If you thought you'd seen it all from the Dolphins this season, hold up. What just came out of Miami today shook half the league and got the other half paying close attention. There are messages being sent to anyone doubting this roster, whispers flying behind the scenes, and decisions that could reshape the future of this franchise. Things are heating up down here, and some players are at the center of some serious NFL insider debates. I'm telling you right now, this isn't just talk. You're not going to believe what's coming. So sit back, hit that like button, and let's get straight to it. There are stories that hit the heart of this fan base, and this one hit deep. When rumors popped up that Jalen Waddle and Bradley Chubb might get traded, every Dolphins fan held their breath. Then Ian Rappaport dropped the bomb. Miami turned down every single offer. Nobody paid the price. And you know why? Because the front office made it crystal clear they're not out here running a clearance sale on talent. You don't bargain with the future when you believe in what you're building. All week long, national media couldn't stop buzzing. Adam Schefter said Miami wanted multiple first-round picks for Waddle. That sounded like a poker bluff, but really, it was a message to the rest of the league. If you want one of ours, better bring your wallet. Nobody did. And that says something. This team isn't desperate. They're confident. Waddle, even with some injury bumps, is still one of the cornerstones of this offense. The man's got speed, precision, instincts. Only 26 years old, sitting on an $84.75 million deal. That's not someone you move lightly. So what's really behind the decision to hold on to Waddle and Chubb? Strategy. While other teams were offloading talent just to survive, Miami's eyes are on the long game. 2026, 2027, maybe beyond. They got calls from the Eagles, Chiefs, even the Texans sniffing around. But Chris Grier stood firm. He knows a Super Bowl window doesn't stay open by accident. Trade the wrong guy mid-run, and you can blow up all your locker room chemistry. Waddle's still got that spark with Tua. He's the reliable check-down guy. It's the one who turns 5-yard plays into highlight reels. He's sitting at 586 yards and 4 touchdowns so far, but it feels like he's just warming up. And that's the best part. His ceiling's still rising. Then there's Bradley Chubb. You can't ignore the impact he brings to this defense. For sacks in 9 games might not pop off the stat sheet, but his presence changes everything. Quarterbacks hesitate, lines shift, and other rushers get freed up because of him. Miami's restructured his deal twice this year to open up cap space, a clear sign. He's part of the blueprint, not trade bait. While other teams panicked before the deadline, Miami sent a silent message. We believe in what we've got. And that kind of confidence, that's championship DNA. But believe it or not, that wasn't even the wildest story of the day. You probably didn't expect to hear this name in trade talks again. Minkah Fitzpatrick. Yeah, that's right. His name popped up among insiders this week, and for a moment, things got real tense in South Florida. Because when a player like Fitzpatrick hits the rumor mill, that means real conversations are happening. Calls came in, the clock ticked down, but in the end, he stayed. And that move said more than any press conference could. Sources close to the team confirmed what many suspected. Miami listened, but they were never serious about moving Minkah. The team's dealing with a battered defense, injuries everywhere, and schemes still trying to click. Trading your defensive anchor in the middle of that storm? That's not just risky, it's reckless. He's the brain of the defense, the guy who reads plays before they happen, changes calls on the fly, and keeps the younger guys locked in. Losing him now would have been like tossing your captain overboard in the middle of a hurricane. Even with some nagging injuries, Fitzpatrick's been steady. He's on the field, he's producing, and his influence goes way beyond stats. Inside that locker room, he's the voice. When Minkah talks, everybody listens. Keeping him in Miami might just be the emotional turning point this team needed. But the truth is, this defense is beat up. Linebackers dropping like flies, pressure coming in waves, and the secondary stretched thin trying to hold things together. That's why his name came up. Some reporters said Miami would have listened to a monster offer, a first-rounder and a starting defender, but nobody stepped up. And honestly, who's crazy enough to give up a game-changer like that? Keeping him kept the team's soul intact. Insiders say a trade like that could have wrecked the locker room already shaken from the recent losses. McDaniel and Greer understood one thing: if there's any shot at a turnaround, it starts with Minkah. The team might be bleeding, but they still have leaders. And leaders don't get traded like chess pieces. And maybe that's the biggest sign that this team's still alive. The players rallied behind it. You could see it online, guys posting "We ride together," still standing. That's the kind of energy that usually sparks something in Miami. But hold on, because what's next is even crazier. When tension starts leaking out of a locker room, you know something big's brewing. And that's exactly where Miami's at right now. The past few weeks have split the fan base, fired up the media, and left everyone wondering what went wrong. The pressure has officially hit the top. Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa are in the hottest stretch of their partnership yet. Former Dolphin Joe Rose didn't hold back, saying flat out that the criticism has to start with Tua. And coming from someone who's worn the uniform that hits hard, after leading the league in yards back in 2023, Tua's dropped off this season. Less accuracy, more mistakes, and a visible dip in confidence. The numbers tell the story: 17 touchdowns to 9 picks in his last 20 games. That's enough to worry even the most loyal fans. But this goes deeper than stats. McDaniel went all in on Tua. He pushed for that $212 million deal, 4 years of commitment. Now, with the playoff race slipping away, all that pressure is landing squarely on his shoulders. The relationship's still respectful, sources say, but every loss adds another crack. It's like a rubber band pulled too tight, it's holding. But for how long? Still, there's a flicker of hope. Even with Tyreek Hill sidelined and a defense full of band-aids, some guys in that locker room believe they can still turn it around. What's missing? That spark. The fire that made the 2023 Dolphins must-watch football. The same swagger that had even rival fans clapping. Joe Rose said it best: he just doesn't look like the guy from last year. But maybe it's not just him. Maybe it's the weight of trying to carry an entire franchise. Fans are split online, arguing who's to blame, while the front office stays quiet, watching. McDaniel still has the locker room. He's smart, innovative, and players trust him. But he knows patience is rare in this league. Without a strong rebound soon, the noise for change is only going to get louder. And if there's one thing Miami fans can't stand, it's wasted potential. At the end of the day, this roster's tired and questioned, but not defeated. There's still pride here, still hunger. And how Tua and McDaniel handle the pressure will define everything. Because in Miami, every Sunday feels like a verdict, and the next one's already looking like a trial. What we saw today is the picture of a team that, despite the struggles, still has heart. Waddle stayed. Chubb stayed. Minkah's locked in. And even with Tua and McDaniel under fire, Miami's still fighting. The fire's not out. This team's got too much talent to quit and too much history to fold. The truth is, the Dolphins' fate is in their own hands now. So tell me, what do you think it'll take to spark that turnaround? Drop your thoughts, hit that like button, and stay with us. Down here in Miami, we don't abandon the ship.